Good evening. This is Jamila Elegbede. Reading with me is
Idowu Shekoni. Good evening.
bringing you Newscope, our daily news program of in-depth reports, interviews, and commentaries. First, the highlights. Fear grips workers as CBN sacked 200 directors, senior managers.
Governor Makinde approves merit-based selection exercise for eligible management officers.
NSA denies backing deposed Emir's return to Kano.
And on the foreign scene, Israel continues bombing of Gaza despite ICJ ruling.
Now the details. No fewer than 200 officials of CBN have been sacked in addition to the long list of ongoing disengagements at the Central Bank of Nigeria. The latest number adds to the list of 117 staff sacked by the Apex Bank between March 15th and April 11th, 2024. The sack letter issued by the Human Resources Department yesterday, dated 24th May 2024, said the policy was to reorganize the organization for effective operations. The termination of appointments affects directors, deputy directors, assistant directors, principal managers, senior managers, and lower-ranking staff. The affected persons include older directors who were not affected by the last round of retrenchment. Reports gathered revealed that the latest sack has caused apprehension among staff of every cadre, as the management has not specified any criteria for the decisions. Another source confirmed the information, indicating that additional dismissals are expected in the months ahead, spread out across staggered phases.
Organized labor has said it will not accept anything less than 100,000 naira as minimum wage as the negotiations between its representatives and the federal government heighten. Several sources from both the Trade Union Congress and the Nigeria Labour Congress who spoke to newsmen stressed that the federal government and the organized private sector should not expect labor to accept anything less than a six-digit offer. The union said the government was not serious about the negotiations, adding that the shift from 48,000 naira to 57,000 naira was too meager to be considered as shifting ground. They noted that, adding that 54,000 naira did not fall into that category. The sources also noted that they were going to have a National Executive Council meeting on Monday in preparation for the meeting with the Tripartite Committee on Minimum Wage on Wednesday. The meeting on the ongoing negotiations on the new minimum wage was adjourned till Wednesday after organized labor rejected the new 54,000 naira minimum wage proposal by the federal government.
The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has approved the engagement of a consultant for the conduct of a merit-based selection exercise for eligible management officers on grade levels 16 to 17 in the state's civil and public service. A statement signed by the Oyo State Head of Service, Mrs. Olubunmi Oni, said the exercise is to fill the vacancies in the positions of permanent secretaries, inspectors general of education, tutors general, and heads of extra-ministerial departments. The statement enjoined interested and eligible officers in the aforementioned categories to indicate their expression of interest by registering online with their emails from Tuesday 28th May 2024 to Monday 10th June 2024.
The Office of the National Security Advisor has denied an allegation that the NSA, Nuhu Rubadu, facilitated the return of the dethroned Emir of Kano. Apologies for the mix-up. The Office of the National Security Advisor has denied an allegation that the NSA Nuhu Ribadu facilitated the return of the dethroned Emir of Kano to the state today. The spokesperson for the Office of the NSA, Zakari Majiyawa, described the allegation as untrue. It was earlier reported that the state deputy governor, Aminu Gwarzo, accused Ribadu of facilitating the return of the dethroned Emir. Reacting to the allegation, the NSA spokesperson, Majinyawa, said Ribadu did not provide the aircraft that returned the dethroned Emir, to the state. He, however, implored politicians to exercise caution in their speech, saying it could potentially undermine the diligent efforts of security agencies in upholding the peace within the state.
Security agencies in Kano State have promised to ensure there is no breakdown of law and order as the safety and security of all the residents in the state remains sacrosanct. The Kano State Commissioner of Police, Hussein Gumel, made this known today while addressing a joint security press conference at the command's headquarters in Bompai, Kano. He also said security agencies will enforce the court order restraining the state government from dissolving 5 newly created emirates in the state. CP Gumel, who said the police command is expressly obeying the court order issued by the Federal High Court sitting in Kano alongside all law enforcement agents in the state, added that the law-abiding people of Kano State are known for a revered cultural heritage and respect for constituted authorities. He also advised people to remain calm. He stated that the person
Muhammadu Sanusi II has returned to the Kano Emir's palace in the wee hours of yesterday. At the palace, Emir Sanusi appeared with the royal umbrella, which signifies him as the Emir. On Thursday, the state governor, Abba Yusuf, assented to the Kano State Emirates Council Amendment No. 2 Law 2024. The amended law abolished the establishment of the 5 emirate councils of Kano, Bichi, Rano, Karai, and Gaya in the state. The governor signed the bill into law in the presence of the Deputy Governor Aminu Abdusalam, Speaker Ismail Fagore, and SSG Abdullahi Bichi, among others. Speaking after the signing, the governor announced the reinstatement of Emir Sanusi II, who was deposed by former governor Abdullahi Ganduje in 2020.
Meanwhile, the deposed 15th Emir of Kano, Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, has assured justice will prevail while urging residents to maintain law and order. He spoke at the mini palace where he has been since returning to the state following his dethronement. The monarch pledged to follow whatever the law states, adding that Kano is too important to Nigeria. Speaking in his native tongue, he urged the people to remain law-abiding while awaiting the outcome of the legal process in the Council.
National Hajj Commission of Nigeria says a total of 18,906 pilgrims have been airlifted for the 2024-1445 Holy Pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia. The agency disclosed this in a Day 11 airlift update today on its X handle. Reports say the airlifting of the pilgrims had taken place in 45 flights. The report added that 23 states in Nigeria have yet to commence the airlift of their pilgrims for the 2024 Hajj. The information was confirmed by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria Command and Control Center in Abuja. According to report, 14 states have successfully airlifted a percentage of their pilgrims, while Oyo, Kogi, and the armed forces have completed 100% of their airlift operations.
In the meantime, the second batch of the Oyo State pilgrims to Saudi Arabia, numbering 556, yesterday performed Umrah rites as they arrived at Mecca from Medina. The pilgrims that landed in the Muslims' holiest city around 6 p.m. local time and 4 p.m. Nigerian time were led in the supplication by some Nigerian Islamic scholars. Details of the journey are presented by BCOS correspondent in Saudi Arabia, Olaliko Sulaiman.
Before leaving their hotels in Medina, the Oyo State pilgrims had been in a state of purification in preparation for various Hajj rites in Mecca, as men put on their Ihram wears before embarking on the journey to Mecca. The significance of the cloths is to ensure everyone stands equal in front of Allah, whether rich or poor, and irrespective of ethnicity. En route to Mecca, the pilgrims had a stopover at Mikot, where individuals performed 2 rakats each. On arrival in Mecca, the pilgrims engage in Umrah rites, including circumambulation of Kaaba, symbolic runs from Safa to Marwa, and they later drank from Zamzam water. After several hours of journey from Medina to Mecca, Oyo State Muslim pilgrims, Batch B, landed safely in the Muslim holiest city, Mecca. It should be recalled that it took only Prophet Muhammad and his companion Abu Bakr days from Mecca to Medina. From Muslim holiest city, Mecca, Saudi Arabia, Olalekan Sulaiman. BCOS News.
This broadcast of Newscope comes to you from the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, Ibadan. Nigerians no longer have to travel to the immigration office to obtain their passports, as home delivery of passports is set to begin in June. This development was announced by the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunjojo, when he inspected the electronic gates at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport's new terminal in Abuja. Tunjojo said the home delivery will not include every location, but will start in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kano, and Abuja. He stated that for Nigerians in the diaspora, the home delivery service would initially be launched in the United States and the United Kingdom with preliminary testing to ensure its effectiveness. He noted that the NIS had been relying on the private company's data center and emphasized the need for a permanent solution to the problem, adding that a data center has been constructed and the passport delivery issue has been resolved. The minister stated further that the final presentation of the electronic visa has been completed, which according to him will reduce the visa processing time from 72 hours to 48 hours.
The People's Democratic Party (PDP) Deputy National Chairman and former State Deputy Governor, Ambassador Taufik Arapaja, says the new chairman of Oluyole Local Government, Engineer Hakeem Olatunji, has what it takes to transform the council area within the shortest possible time. Ambassador Arapaja was speaking at the inauguration party to usher in Engineer Olatunji as the chairman of Oluyole Local Government area of the state. Staff reporter Adebayo Abdulrofi was at the Idianyure headquarters of the council area, has the details.
Political juggernauts and party faithful, including the People's Democratic Party (PDP) Deputy National Chairman and former Oyo State Deputy Governor, Ambassador Taufik Arapaja, former federal lawmaker Honorable Depo Oyedokun, and a host of others were on hand to rejoice with Engineer Hakeem Olatunji as he assumed the political leadership of Oluyole Local Government. The occasion also drew the Chief Imam of Ibadan Land, Sheikh Abdulgani Agbotomokekere, representative of the Chairman Christian Association of Nigeria, Oyo State Chapter, Apostle Joshua Akinyemiju, the Bale Ayegun Oleyo, Alhaji Kabiru Olajide, among others. Ambassador Arapaja, in his remarks, said Engineer Olatunji had paid the price and adequately learned the rope in different capacities.
That means he has really reached out to the people. That is people's chairman. So he has the capacity. He has wherewithal.
The chairman, People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Oluyole Local Government, Alhaji Mukaila Adegbola, Dr. Laulu Adepoju, and Honorable Depo Oyedokun among acumen of Engineer Akim Olatunji as a Democrat.
Is going to perform. This is yearnings of people of Oluya local government. Joyous today.
That is going to deliver very well in Oluya local government.
But I know he will not derail from what our governor is doing. His Excellency, that's our leader. He can never derail from it.
He's a grassroots politician. He knows what he's doing and he knows what his people want. We expect him to leverage on the achievement of PDP. PDP has been doing well. PDP has transformed democracy. Let him to also carry on. Akim Olatunji is a grassroots man, and I believe he's going to give the best dividend of democracy to the entire populace in Oluya local government.
Engineer Akim Olatunji, the immediate past publicity secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Oyo State, had earlier took oaths of office and allegiance alongside other newly elected chairmen from the Chief Judge of Oyo State, Justice Iyabo Yorima, during the inauguration ceremony held at the House of Chiefs, Secretariat, Ibadan. He also engaged the immediate past chairman of Oluyole local government, Honorable Pokuola Olaide Setu, of his readiness to serve the people of the local government with an unprecedented vigor.
We have already learned from the master of the game, as Dr. Shimakiri, who has mastered the good governance, and we believe that with replication of such a good idea, definitely Oluyole will be a better place to live.
The guests were entertained by a Fuji musician, popularly known as T Champion. Adebayo Abdurrafi, BCOS News.
Away from that, the Vice President of the Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, Mrs. Adeola Adekunle, has inaugurated a 3-member caretaker and electoral committee to conduct elections into the Oyo State chapter of NAWOJ within the next 30 days. Mrs. Adekunle appealed to the committee to ensure transparency, free, fair and credible polls, urging them to work diligently to achieve this goal. Addressing the ward members at the Dakpo Adirogba Hall NUJ Press Center, Yagoku Ibadan, Comrade Action a reunion. She also expressed gratitude to the Oyo State Council of the Nigeria Union of Journalists NUJ, led by Comrade Ademola Babalola, for their support to NAWOJ over the years. The Caretaker Electoral Comms Screening Committee, led by Omolara Yoade, FRC and Chapel, assured all NAWOJians of fairness in its electoral processes towards having a better and an all-inclusive Oyo NAWOJ where all members are one united family.
Nigerians have been advised to supplement excess salt and seasoning cubes with natural spices like turmeric, garlic, onions, cayenne pepper, black pepper, and many others because excess salt causes several health risks such as hypertension and other cardiovascular diseases. Experts recommended this in reaction to the federal government's announcement that Nigerians are consuming an unhealthy and excessive amount of salt on a daily basis. Our reporter, Sophia Daniels, examines the risk of consuming excess salt.
Lamenting that Nigerians consume between 5.8 to 25 grams of dietary salt per day, significantly higher than the World Health Organization's recommended maximum daily intake of 2 grams of sodium and 5 grams of salt per day. The federal government noted that reducing sodium intake is crucial for controlling blood pressure, which can prevent hypertension and reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases. According to WHO, countries are to adopt the global sodium benchmarks to reduce their population's sodium intake. Speaking with BCOS News, a nutritionist, Ms. Oluwadolapo Salisu, said food doesn't need excess salt to be flavorful. She advised Nigerians to supplement excess salt and seasoning cubes with natural spices like turmeric, garlic, onions, cayenne pepper, black pepper, and many others.
This high intake of salt also can help you retain too much water in the body because, the body has to, maintain the salt balance and then thereby, retaining so much water, making you bloated and maybe not going to the toilet frequently. When salt is also too much in the body for a very long time, it can lead to you having kidney stone because you are overworking the kidney at the moment. In a whole day, you need just a teaspoon of salt. So instead of you using too much salt or too much Maggi or so in your food, you can just substitute with many other natural spice that can help to enhance the food taste.
Also speaking with BCOS News, a cardiologist, Dr. Tunde Lawal, warned that Africans especially need to be very mindful of their salt intake because blacks have a higher tendency than any other race to suffer from blood pressure and other cardiovascular diseases caused by excess salt intake.
5 out of every 10 adults in modern days have a high blood pressure, and high salt intake is one of the risk factors. So whether you have history of high blood pressure in your family members or not, we usually actually recommend to you that you should reduce your intake of salt in your food and in your drinks. And then there are some minerals too. They add salt to it. Most of the carbonated drinks, they have minerals. That is the reason why they call it mineral salts, mineral drinks. Population in which there is a high salt intake, particularly in Black Africa, they have tendency to have high blood pressure. Whereas in the rural areas where they don't take quite a lot of salt through synthetic food, manufactured foods, their BP is usually within the normal range. As you know, excess of everything is not good.
Both experts advise against waiting until symptoms of salt-related illnesses manifest before reducing their salt intake, as prevention is better than cure. Sophia Daniels, BCOS News.
On the foreign scene, Israel has continued its relentless attacks on Rafah, despite the International Court of Justice (ICJ) ordering it to put an end to the military operation there, and multiple deaths were reported from central and northern Gaza, which have been subjected to renewed attacks. The Boaraka camp and areas close to the Kuwaiti hospital in Rafah today were targeted. Report says several people who have been injured in the bombardment have been transferred to the hospital. The ICJ ruling, the third of its kind this year, ordered Israel to halt its offensive, citing immense risk to some 1.4 million Palestinians taking shelter in Rafah, the southernmost part of Gaza. More than 800 Palestinians have been forced to flee Rafah since Israel launched the current offensive on May 7. The UN's top court seeks to rein in the mounting death toll of Palestinians since October, while also alleviating a continuing humanitarian crisis resulting from the internal displacement and severe hunger trailing most of Gaza's 2.3 million people.
To end this edition of Newscope, here again are the main points. No fewer than 200 officials of CBN have been sacked in addition to the long list of ongoing disengagements at the Central Bank of Nigeria. The latest number adds to the list of 117 staff sacked by the Apex Bank between March 15th and April 11, 2024.
The Office of the National Security Advisor has denied an allegation that the NSA, Nuhu Ribadu, facilitated the return of the dethroned Emir of Kano to the state today.
The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has approved the engagement of a consultant for the conduct of a merit-based selection exercise for eligible management officers on grade levels 16 to 17 in the state civil and public service.
On the foreign scene, Israel has continued its relentless attacks on Rafah despite the International Court of Justice (ICJ) ordering it to put an end to the military operation there.
And that's all from Newscope Desk for now. It was packaged by Oluseun Adedeji and delivered by
Idowu Shekoni. Good evening.
I am Jamila Ilegbede. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to tune in for the Yoruba version at 8 p.m. Good evening.